And hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment with your Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie review. Okay, so this movie is basically the prequel of Harry Potter. Way before Harry Potter, there was a young wizard named Newt Scamander, played by Eddie Redmayne, and he was a Hufflepuff who basically decides to just leave Hogwarts and London and go travel to America and go to New York City. And he's got this magical suitcase, and he's basically a zoologist who studies different creatures, all magical creatures. No matter what type of species it is, he just studies them and takes care of them. And, some of them get loose, and basically he's got to round them all up. Now, what I liked about this movie was the chemistry between him and the character named Jacob Kowalski, played by... gonna probably not butcher this name. You know what? Give me 1 minute. always handy to keep Google on standby just to be sure. I don't want to end up messing up anything. But yeah, him and Jacob Kowalski, great chemistry. I mean, the guy was hilarious. He was funny. He wasn't one of those characters like, is he gonna be annoying this entire movie? Or was he going to actually serve a purpose for the movie, And he actually served the purpose, He was a non-magical person. When you figure how's that going to work, Normally, with Harry, it's not like Harry and Ron where they have great chemistry because they're both magic. But this guy, he's basically human. And he's like, sees everything going on. And he's like, I'm cool with it. And, it worked. And it worked because honestly, I don't think, if it was me in that position, I'll probably be like, I don't know, it was just kind of creepy. But he kind of handled himself really, really well, and it worked. So yeah. 1 second. Okay, so he was played by David Follier. Probably butchered that name, but sorry about that. But yeah, he was great. Then we also had Kristen Waterstein, who played Tina. She played an Aura, and she was kind of this quirky girl who always gets pushed on. Everybody's always, to make her, beneath her. They always say, oh, you're no good at your job, you're this, you're that, and whatever. She's one of the quiet ones, And she does have a sister named who reminded me a lot of Luna Lovegood. Sweet, down to earth. She has the power to actually read minds. It's kind of crazy. And yeah, she was great as well. I thought those two girls really showed a lot of character, especially together. They worked well together. So I really liked that stuff. And the adventures they had together was great. I mean, they had to go find all the magical creatures, and it was another thing about the creatures I like about they're all different creatures that we never even seen before, And this is America Harry Potter, basically. And the Ministry of Magic in this movie, very, very different from what the Ministry of Magic is in, London. Very different. They're more stricter than what, Hogwarts and everybody else in London does, because honestly, they're the ones who have to protect the magical world from the Muggle side, or the Nomads as they call it. And like I said, very, very good. I mean, they did some things in here I didn't expect to ever see in a Harry Potter kind of movie, And another thing good about this movie was that it didn't really reference too much on Harry Potter. Obviously the trailer showed, the behind Harry Potter, the music, obviously, but it didn't really focus, giving us every little detail. I mean, this is not in the movie, so don't go nuts. You don't see McGonagall, you don't see Dumbledore, you don't see any of those characters here, the younger versions of themselves. It sticks to basically the world of Harry Potter, but it doesn't really depend on it to be its own thing. And I thought it worked pretty well. Colin Farrell was in this movie as well. He played an Aura, and he's doing his own investigation of certain other situations happening at the same time as was Newt's creatures are on the loose. There's another incident happening there as well that he has to go discover. But you don't know if he's good or bad. You have to find out and watch. Then you have Idris Miller. Sorry, I probably pronounced that name wrong. You know, who's going to basically play the Flash in the new movie, in the Justice League movie. He was great too. His character is very, I like to say, damaged. Because you learn things about him in this movie, and you're like, wow, I feel sorry for him. He was great too. He had, his role was short, but, I liked for what his character was, and I really felt sorry for him too, because honestly, yeah. John Voight was in this movie too. I didn't expect him to be in this movie. He's practically, he was like a senator's father, or, the president of a newspaper. The head boss of a newspaper. I don't know what they call him back in those days. But he was in the movie too. He's part of my necklace, but I'll get to him in a minute. But like I said, the chemistry was between all three characters were great. I really liked that a lot. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to the good stuff. The negatives I have about this movie, there are a couple. John Voight's character and a couple other characters who are part of his group, they were kind of wasteful because he has a son who's trying to be senator, which is kind of weird that New York would need a senator instead of a mayor. I don't get that, but whatever. So that was just a wasteful moment. And the Ministry of Magic, the leader of the ministry, she wasn't like Fudge. If you know Fudge from the Harry Potter world, he's always active in anything magical stuff, whether it be in Hogwarts or being, anything to do with, magical stuff. He's always there, There's a crime, he's always the first one there with his team. She was just, do that. I was like, come on, do something. You're the Ministry of Magic, you should be able to get out there too. Don't be staying behind closed doors. But, yeah, other than that, great actress, by the way. Can't remember her name, but she was great as the character, but I just feel like I just wish she did more in the movie. Like I said, I wish Colin Farrell was in the movie more, because he was a really cool character and I wanted to see more of him. But we didn't get enough of him. Hopefully we get to see the next one. And, Ezra Miller also, wanted to see more with him. And this movie also had pace issues, Some of the movie kind of just like, okay, get to the point. I want to see them actually go after these creatures and do things. But it was kind of slow at some points of the movie. But I still enjoy this movie a lot. A lot of the good stuff about this movie overshadows the negative for me personally. But I still enjoy this movie for what it was. And also another good thing, I just remembered it. They actually had more wizard fights in this movie than any of the Harry Potter movies combined. Yeah, they had more wizard fights in this. Actually, I seen more wizard fights in here than I've seen lightsaber fights in Star Wars. Yeah, very weird combination, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. They actually had more. It was more, obviously one-on-one, but still, it was a lot longer, a lot more choreographed better, so it was better than that, I mean, obviously in Star Wars it's completely different because that's lightsabers, but especially in the original trilogy, there's hardly ever any lightsaber battles. But it wasn't as much as, the prequel Star Wars movies, but a lot of it as more than Harry Potter itself. Because if you watch all the Harry Potter movies and you count them, not too many wand fights. They got a couple big ones and then the ending and that's it. This one here has at least three big fight scenes. So I like that a lot. But like I said, I highly enjoyed this film and I highly recommend it. And to grade this movie, I thought about it all night. I had some negatives. I wasn't going to go 7% out of 10, but I think I'm going to give it an 8% out of 10. Like I said, there was a lot of good stuff about this movie, but overshadows the negative for me personally. But that's just me. If you go and watch this movie and you don't like it, that's cool. If you love it, even better. So, and for me, another good thing about this movie is that it made me intrigued to learn more about this character, because I think there's more books about this, but especially him. Newt Scamander. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think about the new Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. And if you've seen it, let me know what you guys think. And if you've read the books too. Thank you and have a good day.